Welcome to visit Chill English Flow channel for learning English conversation. Jack and Soph here. Thank you.
Welcome to Chill English Flow. If you want to learn English in a relaxed and natural way, you're in the right place. My goal is to help you improve your English.
Israel pounds Gaza City as military takes first moves in offensive.
Israel hammered Gaza City and its outskirts overnight.
Residents said Thursday, August 21st, as the military announced it had taken initial steps in its push to capture Hamas' last major stronghold.
Gaza City. Israel hammered Gaza City and its outskirts overnight. Residents said Thursday, August 24th, as the military announced it had taken initial steps in its push to capture Hamas's last major stronghold. The newly approved plan authorizes the call-up of roughly 60,000 reservists, deepening fears that the campaign will worsen the already catastrophic humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. "We are not waiting. We have begun the preliminary actions, and already now IDF army troops are holding the outskirts of Gaza City," said the Israeli military. Israel's plans to expand the fighting and seize Gaza City have sparked international outcry as well as domestic opposition. The Red Cross became the latest voice to condemn the plan on Thursday, calling it intolerable. Ahead of the offensive, the Israeli military said the call-up of the reservists would begin in early September, adding the second phase of Operation Gideon's Chariots had begun. Gaza City residents described relentless bombardments overnight. "The house shakes with us all night long. The sound of explosions, artillery, warplanes, ambulances and cries for help is killing us," one of them, Ahmad al-Shanti, told AFP. "The sound is getting closer, but where would we go?" Another resident, Amal Abdel Al, said she watched the heavy strikes on the area a week after being displaced from her home in Gaza City's Al-Sabra neighborhood. "No one in Gaza has slept. Not last night, not for a week. The artillery and airstrikes in the east never stop. The sky flashes all night long," she added. Gaza Civil Defense Agency spokesman Mahmoud Basal said airstrikes and artillery fire overnight targeted areas to the northwest and southeast of Gaza City. Late Thursday, the Israeli military detailed a range of operations across the Gaza Strip in recent weeks. It said the maneuvers and strikes created the conditions for the military to intensify pressure on Hamas and lay the groundwork for the next stages of the campaign. The UN humanitarian agency has warned the Israeli plan to expand military operations in Gaza City would have a horrific humanitarian impact on the already exhausted population. Forcing hundreds of thousands to move south is a recipe for further disaster and could amount to forcible transfer, OHA said. The UN Human Rights Office in the Palestinian territories also voiced concern. Hundreds of families have been forced to flee, including many children, persons with disabilities, and older people, with nowhere safe to go, it said. Others reportedly remain trapped, completely cut off from food, water and medicine supplies, it added. The Israeli military said this week it had also begun informing medical personnel and aid groups in northern Gaza to start making evacuation plans and transferring their equipment to the south. As Israel tightened its grip on Gaza City's outskirts, meditators continued to wait for an official Israeli reaction to their latest ceasefire proposal that Hamas accepted earlier this week. Ball in Israel's court. Israel and Hamas have held a string of indirect negotiations throughout the nearly two-year conflict, paving the way for a pair of short ceasefires during which Israeli hostages were freed in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Of the 251 captives kidnapped during Hamas's October 2023 onslaught on southern Israel that triggered the war, 49 are still in Gaza, including 27 the Israeli military says are dead. Sources from Hamas and its ally Islamic Jihad told AFP this week that the latest ceasefire proposal calls for the release of 10 hostages and 18 bodies from Gaza. The remaining hostages would be released in a second phase alongside talks for a wider settlement. Qatar and Egypt, backed by the United States, have overseen several rounds of shuttle diplomacy. Qatar said the latest proposal was almost identical to an earlier version approved by Israel, while Egypt said Monday that the ball is now in Israel's court. Late Wednesday, Hamas lambasted the plans to take control of Gaza City, saying in a statement it showed its blatant disregard for efforts to broker a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Hamas's October 2023 attack on Israel resulted in the deaths of 1,219 people, mostly civilians, according to an AFP tally based on official figures. Israel's offensive has killed at least 62,122 Palestinians, most of them civilians, according to figures from the health ministry in Hamas-run Gaza, which the United Nations considers reliable. Media restrictions in Gaza and difficulties in accessing many areas mean AFP is unable to independently verify the tolls and details provided by the Civil Defense Agency or the Israeli military.